The members of parliament who voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua are finding it very rough, reminiscent of the period when they voted to pass the Finance Bill 2024. Sources indicate that after the exuberance that we witnessed in the National Assembly, where they were converged together and they were doing it as a group work, name calling and shouting, and they voted unanimously to impeach their son. A moment of reckoning has come because a time is here now when they are supposed to meet their constituents. But it is reported that they are unable to meet their constituents because it is always good when you are doing it in a group. Do you remember those days when you could do something in a group in school? Then people are suspended and you are told you go and come with your parent. So once you've come with your parent, it is now you and your parent in the office. You did it as a group. And you see, it was very nice when you when there is that when you do it unanimously. So when you get to the office, it is now you alone. Now this is what is happening to the Mount Kenya fraternity. Sources indicate that some of them have vacated their rural homes. Parliament was on recess and they could not, they only sneak in because they are afraid of being greeted. Most of them are now in the urban suburb, and they are carrying those high-end estates. Another thing that is happening is that there is a lot of backlash even in the social media, their Facebook, the Twitter and Instagram, because the amount of pressure and insult that they receive that has forced them even to disconnect the comment section because they are really feeling it. There's a lot of heat. You know, it was said that some of them were given money, some of them were only pleasing William Samoei Ruto. Now, I want us to read a little what has been reported, that a wave of hostility is blowing across the Mount Kenya region, with MPs and senators who voted for Gachagua's impeachment having it rough on social media. Some MPs have been forced to keep off the ground, opting not to attend social events, and even locking comment sections of their accounts to mute criticism and fend off anger. Most MPs who participated in Gachagua's ouster have been having difficult times on the ground, with residents angry with their decision to eject the former DP from office. Now that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes when you are doing things, I repeat, you are doing something in a group, remember that a time will come when you will be alone. These people, according to the constitution, they were told, can you go back to your constituency and ask your constituents, how do you want me to vote? Do you support the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua? Do you support his ouster? So that when you vote what they want you represent them. But they didn't do that. We are told they were given such an amount of money. Do you remember the other day I did a video where Kimani Gunjiri, the former Bahati MP, was telling us that most of our MPs are in debt trap. Kimani Gunjiri was telling us that most of our MPs are in debt trap, especially the first timers, that when you get to parliament, the banks will approach you to give you loan in terms of millions. You are given some grants or some loan to buy a car, and therefore their salary slip is always 6,000 or I don't know 10,000. That could be exaggerated, but it is little. And he was saying that they are very much vulnerable, that if they are given even 5,000 Kenya shillings to vote, they will do, because that is what they make do with. That is why you cannot even take away the CDF from them, because those are the monies that help them, move. And we are told that maybe that would have been their predicament. They were bribed. They were also doing it to please William Samoei Ruto. So on the ground, Vindu Vichenjanga, things are different on the ground. Can you imagine that the people that you kept on engaging during the campaigns, they have been your friends, now you need a lot of security, Now you don't want them. They are forced, according to the publication, that they boycott or avoid social function. They can't go for a church function where they're being seen, no tarambe. They can't even organize for those, those football competitions that they do. Just a few who are friendly on the ground. And Mount Kenya has adopted a style. They have decided to go quiet. When someone is quiet, it is the best weapon. Silence is the best weapon. When you have an enemy who does not speak, you don't know what they do, you don't know what they think, it is always very, very bad. That is why in the art of war, you will realize that when countries are at war, they would want to read. They even take books that are published from writers from that country. They want to know, because you read the mind of your enemy. But in this case, Mount Kenya has switched off. They are quiet, and there is an air of tension within the ground, just telling the members of parliament that Nikubaya. It is understood that these people have signed their political obituaries. When they voted Rigathi Gachagua, most of them will not see the light of day in 2027. And that's why I'm telling you that it is a moment of reckoning. If you voted to please William Samoei Ruto, a moment of reckoning is you now face the electorates. And right now, they can boycott, they can avoid them. But a time is coming in 2027 when they will be forced to go back. And I wonder how they are going to face the electorates. Because for these 5 years, you were given time to do that with the electorates once. They will ask you, you went there to represent us, but you decided to conduct yourself in your own way. A member of parliament is supposed to vote on how they have been instructed by the wananchi. We have seen this mistake where after being elected and they are sent to power, they get loans and get their cars, they buy homes and they live in those high-end estates. They no longer want to meet the electorate. They switch off their phones. Can you try, if the very, very number that your member of parliament was using during the campaigns is the same number, can you call that number and it gets through? It cannot. There was that number that they were using during the campaigns. Now there's a lot of security. There's another number. They no longer want to meet you because they know they have climbed. They were only using you as a ladder. That is why when they get to parliament, they want to do whatever they want. They don't care. But the time is coming. I always refer to the Finance Bill 2023 and the Finance Bill 2024. When Wananchi cautioned them, please don't pass this bill. They were so high of themselves, they thought that they were elected by William Samoei Ruto. So they went there to please the executive arm of the government. They met the wrath of the Gen Zs. You saw how some of the houses were torched. There was a curfew. They could not be seen anywhere in public. They could not attend churches. And you see, if there is something that human beings love, it is freedom. Freedom to mingle with people. Freedom to walk freely. A point has come that the members of parliament who voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua cannot walk freely. And Rigathi Gachagua warned them that before you impeach, can you please ask your people if they want their member of parliament, their deputy, to be impeached? Because yes, they accused Rigathi Gachagua, and I'm not sanitizing Rigathi Gachagua. I've always opined on this platform that there's a way in which Gachagua was behaving like power got into his head. Power corrupts. But people have maintained that there are 3 reasons why people didn't want Gachagua to go. They felt that the very sins that Gachagua was being accused of performing are being performed even at a higher scale by the president. And in fact, if today we start scrutinizing things to do with tribalism, to do with village politics, everyone does it. And that's why people decided that it's either both of them go or they stay. Some people also felt that, these people chose themselves and they said they will not allow such kind of wrangles to deter them from working for us. Now they start fighting. And we also felt that they had not had it enough. And we wanted William Ruto to understand that Uhuru was such a good man. Uhuru tolerated him all the while he was giving him trouble. We were not, protecting Gachagua because he was good. No, we were only protecting him because both of them are bad. I don't think so. So, ladies and gentlemen, the post Gachagua impeachment is a thorn in the flesh, and most of them regret. Most of them, if they took money, they have now consumed that money, and they now feel like they have created an enmity between themselves. William Ruto will not be there to help them campaign because the mountain will be so hostile. I have a feeling that even the UDA will not be a popular party in Mount Kenya. These people will, the Pro Gachagua team will form their own party, the Mount Kenya party, because UDA is not a Mount Kenya party. That is the reality. Yes, you might say it has got a national figure, but UDA is a Rift Valley party. That is the reality. Just like ODM has got its root, we have Jubilee, its root, Wiper, its root. So the fallacy that UDA is their party is wrong. And there is even this rumor that William Ruto might not even use the UDA to seek for election. And so those people who voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua, it is their moment, and maybe they might say goodbye to that seat. That is if Mount Kenya will not allow themselves to be hoodwinked or bribed the way our politicians usually do. What is the mood from where you are, ladies and gentlemen, especially to those who voted Rigathi? If you're coming from a constituency of a member of parliament who voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua, what is the mood? Are they walking freely? Because we are told they can't go to their rural homes. They have also deactivated the comment section with social media.